so long, girl.
Welcome to Open Eyes Podcast, everybody. I have got such good vibes today. I burnt some sage. I'm very happy. And, before we start, I'm just going to welcome Sharan on because we're very immature and we keep laughing, but that's how it is. Carry on. How are you today, Sharan?
I'm good, Stevie. How are you?
I'm great. We finally got this recording after all that time, but I'm good.
Bro, I've been ill, right? But I'm just tired. And I know a lot of people I know are also very tired. But I feel like it's not even just physical, it's also mental. There's no motivation.
So I got loads of messages earlier from people asking about the post that I put up about Mercury Retrograde. And, we was already going to do this video anyways. But it just got me thinking that so many people, they don't know so much about spirituality and they don't know much about the things that happen around us and, the way it affects them. So it got me thinking, so many people, they're alive, but they're not living life. If you know what I mean, they're practically asleep. I think one of the main questions was, what is Mercury Retrograde? And Mercury Retrograde is basically where the planet is moving backwards, but it's not actually moving backwards. It's an optical illusion. So it seems like it is. And, at the moment, it's happening between today, which is May 29th, until June the 22nd. This is basically Gemini season. So, how you know about your zodiac signs. I'm a Scorpio, Sharan is a Leo. At the moment, it's Gemini season. So what's going to happen with Mercury retrograde being in Gemini is that everything is going to be kind of enhanced, because if you look at the symbol of Gemini, it's the two twins and, they're like mirrors of each other. So you need to expect, miscommunications, arguments, technology, because for anybody that doesn't know, we've just had a massive problem. We've spent 2 hours trying to get this up because it was just a mess. We was trying to do it on the iPad, it wasn't working, we couldn't record it. We tried it on here and then it just started messing up. It was echoing, and you can expect a lot of that during Mercury retrograde because electronics, they just mess up during this time. So what's your viewpoint on it?
Well, from personal experience, I feel like even before you told me about Mercury retrograde, I was feeling tired and stuff. I had a lack of motivation. I didn't really want to do anything. I was just tired. I feel physically and mentally. But then obviously you started telling me about it, and obviously it gave an explanation as to why I was feeling it. But I feel it just made me feel really tired. That's just it. And I know a lot of people I know were also feeling the same way. Just very tired, lack of energy, lack of motivation.
Definitely. What kind of time during May would you say you started feeling like that? Tired, for example?
I feel it was the middle of May, to be honest. In the beginning, I feel it was just it happened gradually. I think in the beginning I was just physical tired. I slept a lot, but I was still feeling tired. But then I feel gradually I started to feel mental tired. I was I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to do any work. I didn't want to be productive. It was just that. But now
I remember you text me a couple times saying that you're not feeling 100%. You're feeling quite tired. You're not feeling yourself. And I could even see when you were texting me, I was just something's up. And it's weird because just over the last few days, I had a couple of other mates. One of the guys texted me last night, and I could just tell, usually he's very energetic. He's very, very productive. He's hustling 24/7. And he just seemed very, very down, not himself. So I texted him back and I was what's up? I was you don't seem yourself. Are you okay? I'm always here if you need somebody to talk to. And he was just telling me that he's been feeling very tired recently. He's been feeling not 100%. And, at that point, I just started thinking to myself, it's because of Mercury retrograde. And many people don't know about this. And I thought, with this video, we can kind of educate people. Now, it's not going to be 100% detailed as much as we possibly could do it. But I think with this period of time, it's happening between 29th of May till the 22nd of June. And I think during this time, we can do a couple videos here and there when people have questions, because a couple people did pop up and they had a variety of questions. So, you know, we can do a couple, we can do some posts about this as well. So I think people can understand it more. But I have noticed that so many people during this time have been feeling so tired. They've been feeling lethargic, not 100%, and they're not knowing why they're feeling like that. And I'm not gonna, even me, like I'd say about a week ago, I was feeling confused. I wasn't feeling like myself. Even when I was meditating, I wasn't feeling like me. And I know you said that as well, didn't you?
No, I think meditation wasn't working. It was just like I was trying. It was like I literally did everything I do normal, but it just wasn't hitting the same.
Like what would you say you felt during that period?
Empty, bro. Like it was like
Empty.
numb.
Yeah, exactly.
It was like empty and numb at the same time. Like it's like you want to feel something, but you can't. It's like that.
Yeah, definitely. And do you feel as though like recently you started to feel better when you meditate, or is it still the same?
I think like it's like, you know, before, like I said, I'd feel empty and numb or whatever. I think now it started like working again, like, you know, that peaceful effect that it would give before.
See, one thing I realized with you was that when we kind of had that chat about you feeling, you know, not 100%, and then we started talking about Mercury retrograde and you started doing your research about it, I actually noticed that you started seeming more like yourself again, energetic, hyper, you know, that kind of thing. And I think one thing about Mercury retrograde and anything to do with spirituality is that if you don't know about it, you know, you can't understand it, and you ain't going to feel a certain way. But whereas when you start understanding certain materials in life and topics and subjects, you start to understand why certain things happen.
Like, remember when I was telling you yesterday how, like, remember like when I told you that sometimes I feel like, you know, for the meditation to work, you have to believe in certain things. And I feel like obviously before I had no idea. Before you told me, about a week ago, I had no idea. I've never heard the word Mercury retrograde. And I feel like obviously that's probably why it wasn't working, because I was going through it because, you know, it's happening, but I had no idea what it was, so I couldn't really change it. But now I've researched into it, I know a little bit about it. I feel like things are not going back to normal, but I feel like it's still changing. Do you get me?
Yeah, I hear you. And I think one thing that many other people don't know about is that I think it's a pre-shadow and a post-shadow phase. So I know many people started feeling very lethargic just before the Mercury retrograde actually started, which is obviously the start date is today. But I think, I can't remember from the top of my head, so I might be wrong. If I am wrong, then somebody correct me. But some people said, I think it was like 22nd of May or 24th of May, something like that. And that was kind of like the beginning of, you know, you feeling tired. So it's like kind of the first couple of days just before you actually start Mercury retrograde. So you start feeling tired. And then the post-shadow phase, I believe I think that's going to be like June the 7th. That's what a couple of people have said. So, you know, you may still feel very tired even after the period of Mercury retrograde has finished. So, you know, and I noticed that with a lot of people, they were still feeling very, very tired. And that, you know, still. So the next kind of thing is, how does it affect us? Because I know many people are probably going to watch this, they're not very spiritual. That, you know, some people are religious, but they don't realize that religion itself is quite spiritual. You're still doing that meditation, right? It doesn't matter what kind of prayers you listen to, where you go, if it's a church, a mosque, a temple, it's still like the vibrations in itself. You're still the frequencies, right? You're feeling higher, you're meditating. So I think it doesn't matter what you are or what you believe in, it's still affecting everybody. So it's not just something that's affecting spiritual people. And I actually had somebody pop up to me earlier and they were asking, they said, is it just affecting a certain type of zodiac sign? I was like, no, I was like, this is affecting everybody. And I asked them, I said, what's been happening in your life right now? And he goes, oh, my phone's been messing up. And I was like, it's Mercury retrograde. You know, during Mercury retrograde, your electronics start to mess up. They start getting lost and stuff. So
And you know, like one of my friends, she does not believe in anything I say. Like if I like, talk about spirituality, she's like, whatever. But yesterday she popped up and she's like, Sharan, I feel so like, she's like, I have no energy. And she goes, I keep remembering like someone in my past that she goes like, I literally don't even care about that person, but I can't stop thinking about them. And she was also saying how like, she goes, I sleep all day long, but I'm still tired. She goes, I literally don't do any work. She goes, I'm not productive anymore. And I was like, since when? And she goes, literally like been a couple of days. I was like, oh, I got excited. I was like, Mercury retrograde.
And that's another thing as well with Mercury retrograde. You mentioned about, her missing somebody during this period of time. And I know it started to happen to a couple of people already. You start like going back to your past. So people that you might have, I don't know, had a fling with, you were speaking to at one point, or even a relationship, even if it was platonic, even if it was platonic, right, you start to miss them and you don't understand why. It's just like they keep popping up in your head. You might start having dreams about them, and it's like, why am I thinking about this person, right? And it's because during Mercury retrograde, it's the best time to kind of reflect on your past. So a lot of the pain that you might have inside of you that might be built up in your your subconscious, for example, it starts to come back to you. Memories start to come back to you, and it's your kind of period of time, where you can kind of reflect on yourself. You can kind of reflect on things that have happened and what you're gonna do for your next steps.
I know that we both have been experiencing that as well, like thinking about people in the past. Not even just people, like I like events in the past.
I actually, like, the other day, as you know, but I did the burning of sage today, right? And I just feel like next level, high vibrations, and I'm just feeling so good today. You come on.
I can feel it, like, even when we texted earlier, I feel like, when I was just texting you, I feel like it just made me like, I could like tell that your vibes were so high, and it was like making me like smile and laugh as well.
It's like when I did a video call with somebody just before I spoke to you, and the guy that I was talking to is a very good friend of mine. We're going to do an interview, for the podcast soon. And he just goes to me out of the blue. He was like, I love talking to you today. And I was like, what do you mean? He goes, I don't know, you're just like very, very high vibes. And I was like, really? You can feel it like through the camera. And he was like, you're always like that, but today I don't know what it is. It's just like next level. And I was giggling to myself because I was thinking, you don't know, I've been sitting in my room for like, I don't know, since like 11 a.m. until like 3 p.m. just, with the sage burning, and I've just been meditating. So yeah, it is how it is. But even with you, I think you're very like good today, like high vibrations. It feels good.
I feel like like how everyone says you're high vibration. I think we're just bouncing off of each other.
Yeah, that's actually the word that he used. He was like, it's like the vibes are bouncing off one another. And I was like, interesting.
It is. It's like, how energy spreads. How energy spreads. Like if someone feels negative, you feel do, and if someone's happy, I feel like the vibrations are spreading to me, and that's why I'm like same as, and we just keep laughing for no reason.
I know. And for anybody that's watching this, we did have to start this like 30 times, was it, or something, just because we kept laughing. And I think that's one of the main important things is during Mercury retrograde, you're going to start feeling down, you're going to start questioning things, but make sure that even if it's the people closest to you and you do have a bit of miscommunication with them, don't fall out with them completely. Don't start blocking them, don't remove them from your life, because this period of time is going to make you feel like you need to do that, but you don't need to do that. You just need to kind of just relax within yourself. And this morning I received an email from somebody. She's quite deep into spirituality, and nothing weird, don't worry. She sent an email to a couple of us, and she was like, it's a start of Mercury retrograde, how you all feeling? We was all having a bit of a chat, and she just sent us like a big list of tips, like how to kind of cope during this period of time. And I found one of the things was kind of weird that she gave to us was the kind of movement of hands in water, and she just like, there were subtitles, and then she'll give a description of each thing, and I might just put it in the description because it's actually quite interesting. But she said if you get 2 bowls, you get one with warm water You get one with cold water, and you put both of your hands, say, into the warm water, for example, first, and then you move it into the cold, then you move it back into the warm, and you keep doing that as a cycle for 60 seconds. You will feel so much better. And it's weird, you know, because I was thinking, what are you talking about? That's so weird.
Did you do it?
I did it. Yeah. So
Did
when
it
I
feel
was
good?
burning, it felt so amazing. So I burnt the sage was burning. And then obviously when I saw the email, I was like, okay, I'm gonna check this out. I was like, I want to see if it does anything. I did it, and like I can't even explain. Today I'm like so at peace. I feel high, but like not off drugs. I feel high off life. And
Life.
yes, literally, I feel so good today. And even with some of the people that I spoke to earlier, like video called and that, they were saying the same thing. They said they woke up this morning and they were just feeling amazing, like in a way that they can't explain.
That's literally what I was saying today. Like, remember last night when I was saying that whole last voice note?
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't explain it. It's like, I can't explain like the actual feeling, but all I know is that it feels good. Like,
yeah,
like, when you feel like elated, it was like that.
it feels very like powerful, I would say.
You feel like it's like at peace, but like you're floating, but like you're not.
Yeah, like, does it feel as though you're on Earth, but it's an illusion? Like you're not actually here. Yeah, that
like
that's the same as
physically,
me.
I'm here. Physically,
Yeah,
I'm here,
yeah.
but I feel like my
But like your soul
is
isn't.
not here. It's
Yeah.
not.
It feels, it's quite an amazing feeling. Like I can't describe it, but sometimes I have to, like, you know, just bang the door or something to make sure I am here, because the way I feel is
Well,
like I'm flowing.
the soul is not something that can be explained by humans.
Exactly. It's true. It's
So
true. But
we can't feeling.
it's true. But I think
Very
what I've started to do recently, and I think you kind of motivated me to do this, is obviously I'm big on spirituality, but you know, you kind of said to me about reading more books and getting into it deeper because it helps you when you have questions. And it's really motivated me, because I ordered some books earlier. I found this ancient Egypt one, and I will send over the link to you because it looks really intriguing. But you know, it's gonna get delivered soon, so I might do like a review on it once it comes. But you know, I think every day is about learning, for sure. And
because I feel like like when I ask you stuff, I feel like it gives answers to stuff I never thought could be answered.
I feel honored. But it's the same, you know, because I feel like everybody has their own individual path. I've obviously, you know, I had a lot to go through, but I learned to love my demons over time. And I feel like now that I've kind of manifested that self-love and self-care, I'm able to help other people. And it's the same with you. You've had one hell of a journey. And I think, you know, with that, you're going to be able to help other people. You do it to me anyway. You give me really good advice and you don't even realize it. Like when I speak to you, I feel good when I speak to you. It's like you have this white aura around you, very positive.
I think, my problem is that I don't follow my own advice. I need to like follow my own advice.
Definitely.
Just don't.
I think that's with everybody though. Like you know me, oh my gosh, the amount of shit I get myself into every single time with people. It's because I never follow my own advice. I know it deep down. Like I have that gut instinct that, you know, when something's off or it's, you know, it's good or whatnot. And even then I try to have a look at and see the good in people. And you know, it gets me into shit when I ignore it. But you know, I think that's everybody ignores their own advice. But
I think, sometimes I think sometimes just seeing the good in people can be bad for us, because then they could be hurting us, but we choose to ignore it.
Yeah, it's true.
I think we've both learned that the hard way.
100%. Like the kind of lessons I've learned, I'm able to pick up on red flags more now. I'm able to, you know, when people talk about certain things.
I know about
that. When people are in situations and say they come to me and they say, what do you think about this? I'm like, obviously it's your own path. You've got to learn that lesson. But, you know, I'm able to see things and I'm like, you know, I've got to stay silent on this because they've got to learn this. But, you know, everybody obviously there has their own path, but the lessons that come with it helps us in the future. That's one thing with my own mother. Like she's very, very strong mentally, so strong. And when I was growing up, you know, she would make sure that I wasn't like a pussy. Like, say if I fell over, I had a little graze on, say, like my elbow or something, right? She'd be like, are you able to walk? Are you able to kind of move your arm? And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, you fine then? Come on then, let's go for a walk. And I'm like, that's kind of what made me stronger as well. It's like the little things.
Bro, the old me was a proper pussy. Like, when I tell you, I used to cry over the littlest shit. I'm sure anyone from my secondary school can vouch for me. I used to cry over anything and everything. But I think, like, after everything I've been through, I see there's like more important shit in life than crying over everything.
Yeah, I hear you.
I wouldn't say I'm
So,
strong, but I wouldn't say I'm weak either.
no, I know what you mean. And I think, you know, everybody definitely has a weakness for sure. But I think life is about making those weaknesses into strengths. And, you know, I think you're very, very strong. And I don't think you realize that. You've got a lot of power that you just haven't unleashed yet. 100%. I can tell you that without a doubt.
Don't gas me up. I feel like that's with you. I feel like that's with you. Same with you though. But the only difference is that you realize you have a lot of power.
Yeah.
You.
And I think with me, I started my spiritual journey around about 15. Like, that's a story for another time because it's a bit detailed, you know, and I want to talk about that in a bit more detail. But I've kind of been doing that spiritual path, going through it for like a lot more years now. And I think it depends on every individual on how they kind of take that journey, what lessons they take. And I know for a fact with me, and there was times when, you know, something would keep popping up, but it would be like, I'm not going to go into detail because I'll keep it for another time, but the same kind of person would come over and over again because I didn't learn my lesson the first time. And then I started reading about this, you know, on articles, and I started speaking to people who are into spirituality, that kind of thing. And then I started finding out that it's cycles. Until you learn your lesson, it's going to keep happening, like non-stop.
The other thing is, you know, remember I was telling you, like when we had that FaceTime call once, I was telling you, I was like, no one makes the same mistake over and over. Like, obviously there's going to be sometimes when you don't learn and you do make it, but once you've got it in your head that this is like wrong for me, then like no one repeats that mistake again. Like, you know that now. Like,
Yeah.
obviously whoever that was repeating in your life was
Well,
whatever it was. Oh shit. Whatever that was repeating in your life was because you just hadn't got it into your head. And you know, I think obviously we're not going to go into too much detail, but I think what you did was a very common mistake for people to do. Very common.
true. And I think, you know, that's something that I want to help other people with now. It is how it is. This is how our call's going to be. Can't do anything about that.
Your hair is resting on your tits, and in my head I just, huh?